Well, this is the second time in 2 weeks the United States has targeted Iranian-supplied military assets in the region. However, some critics say the Pentagon's response isn't strong enough and that it's projecting weakness to the regime in Tehran. CBN's Chuck Holton reports from Jerusalem.
Since October 7th, over 40 attacks on U.S. military bases in Syria and Iraq. So far, 1 American is dead and more than 40 U.S. troops wounded. The aggressors are Iran-backed militias who see the U.S. and Israel as the same enemy.
America is not present and is not showing leadership in the Middle East. And this is why Iran is behaving as a global war or a regional war and challenging the American forces.
Those are acts of war. There's no other way to describe it. And the fact that they're repeatedly happening over and over again, I think sends the wrong message to the world. And that message is the U.S. is weak, the U.S. military's hunkered down and afraid.
These posters of hostages being held inside Gaza are hung in a place where they're very unlikely to be taken down, and that's right outside the Knesset, the seat of government here in downtown Jerusalem. And while Israel's leaders are inside crafting a very forceful strategy against Hamas, the United States has not really responded with much force against the more than 40 attacks that have happened in the Middle East against our troops. And experts say that that lack of response only invites more aggression in an area where more violence is the last thing anybody needs.
Don't think that they're not noting the response, or should I say the lack of response by this government. And all that will do will encourage them to do more.
It's incumbent, I would say, upon U.S. policymakers to properly defend those U.S. service people who are deployed. And that means that when they are attacked, there needs to be an adequate response.
The Pentagon announced October 31st the deployment of an additional 300 troops to the region, although clarified it's not in response to the war in Gaza.
Our forces are in Iraq and Syria for one purpose, which is the enduring defeat of ISIS. That's why they're there. That's what they'll stay focused on. So this is separate and distinct from the situation in Israel, between Israel and Hamas. And so, again, our message is we will take whatever necessary actions to protect those forces, to deter future attacks. And if and when we need to respond, we would do so at a time and place of our choosing.
For now, experts point to the need for a forceful answer to these attacks to secure troops and deter escalation.
What we are seeing now, this is not a local war between Israel and Hamas. This is a global war.
Chuck Holton, CBN News, Jerusalem.